2013 G550 window regulator. We're gonna jump right into it. We got a lot of stuff to film today. T30 LYFE. Alright, so we're gonna take this window regulator and replace it. This is obviously not a window regulator, but this is my new tool mat that I'm going to be using on this job so I can keep all my tools in place and know where they all are. I think I'm gonna sit it probably about right here. I think that's good. And right here is our replacement window regulator that's gonna go on. This is a pretty straightforward job. I've done this job several times before in other Mercedes. The only thing that might be different on this one is that I think that there's actual screws here instead of rivets on these actual bolts that connect the window regulator to the actual door frame. So once we get the door card and the vapor barrier off, we're going to be able to tell if those are rivets or actual screws. If they're rivets, I'm going to have to drive to the store and get an actual rivet gun and rivets, which is really cheap. If they're screws, we won't have to do any of that. We'll just put this stuff on and I'll show you how to do it. So let's go ahead and pull this door card off first. Pulling door card off is pretty straightforward. It just requires a pry tool like this. And if you have a screwdriver that has like all this multitude of different type of bits and screws and all that kind of stuff, hex screws, this works really, really good. So this is what I typically use for pretty much all of my little repairs like this. So I'm about to dig right on in. So lately people have been asking for more detail in our DIY videos, and so what I basically just did there, I used the T30, which is this right here, to remove these little hex screws, and there's 3 of them. Well actually it's called a Torx bit. 1, 2, 3 screws right here. You remove those, and then yeah, you can pretty much take this little door card off. And then the one little last screw you got to pull off is right here on the corner on these newer model G Wagons, and it's just a little like 1 or 2 screws should be able to get this screw out. And it's right there, 1 or 2 Phillips, boom, comes right out. So now we shall move on. We're going to take our trusty pry tool right here, and we're going to go around the perimeter of the door card, and we're going to pop out all these little holders, and this door card will just come off because that's all that holds them on pretty much. What I'm doing now is pulling all these cables and stuff loose that are back here. There's a mechanical cable that actually controls the latch to the door, and there's a few electrical cable, one for the speaker, and there's one for the lights that are in here, and then there's another for the window switch and the door heater switch. So I'm disconnecting all that stuff right now, and it's really hard to get the camera in here to see that, but I guarantee you that's what I'm doing. I promise. So when you're pulling your door card off, there's several different connectors that need to come loose. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and they are the actual door latch, the window regulator, and the heat control. I'm not exactly sure which is which, but that's what these 2 do. This one is for your speaker, the little small door speaker that goes on the door card, and this one is for the little LED light that illuminates the door panel and makes it look all nice and pretty inside at nighttime. Once you get those 3, actually 5 disconnected, you can go ahead and pull your door card off and move on to the next phase, which is removing this vapor barrier right here, which is also really annoying. So I don't know how much of the vapor barrier I'm actually going to pull down, but it's going to be the vast majority of it. But before I go ahead and do that, I think I'm going to go ahead and remove the speaker and this controller right here, or this module or whatever it is, to make it a little bit easier once I get this vapor barrier down here so I can go ahead and maneuver how I need to. So speaker's coming out, and this is coming out, and vapor barrier is coming down. I removed the vapor barrier, and unfortunately I had to remove the whole thing. I've done this job before in other Mercedes and not had to remove the whole vapor barrier. On this one it looks like I'm going to have to remove the whole thing because I don't know if you can see down here, but I believe that some parts of this window regulator are also connected to this the speaker mount. So I think the speaker mount has to come off when this comes off, but we will find out definitely for sure, not for sure, once I start taking this window mount out. I mean, not window mount, window regulator out. So that is the next phase, window regulator removal. And I gotta secure this window. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and separate the window glass from the actual window regulator. There's 2 screws in here that hold the glass to the actual regulator. They're right into this little door. And basically when this window regulator broke, the window was stuck in the down position. So after a lot of messing around with it, I finally got the window to go up, and I use these 2 zip ties to hold it in place until, you know, I got the parts and all this kind of stuff. But now that I have the parts, I'm going to go ahead and use this, where is it? This right here, this suction cup, and I don't know where the other one just went. The GoPro suction cup to keep these things in place, putting them kind of like that. And like this is going to keep the glass in place while I unscrew the rest of the screws to pull the regulator out. So now we're going to move on to that phase of changing this out. Alright, after a bunch of doing and unscrewing stuff, we finally got this window regulator out, and you can see the failure point right here where the actual cable snapped, and yeah, the window pretty much fell down and was never able to come back up. But we have replacement parts, which I'm about to put in right now and install, and get this thing back going again. Wow, this thing is also really tangled up in the gears as well from, I guess, them trying to move the window up and down after it broke. But it wasn't too bad to get out, but let's see how hard it is to get it back in. Alright, so I just compared the replacement parts to the part I just took off. It has actually the same part number, and it looks exactly the same. So I'm almost 100% certain that yeah, this should go right on in and fit in perfectly, and we can get this window working again. So here we go with the install. Okay, so the window regulator, when you put it in, it kind of looks like a crazy octopus or something. How did you get this thing in? I'm going to show y'all real quick. So this is the proper orientation for this thing. You pretty much are going to turn it like this. Can y'all see that? And then, if you look where these holes align right here, these holes right here, and this part right here comes down here and goes into 1, 2, 3. This goes 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, and then let's see if I can do it. This part right here comes on the back side through this hole. These go through there. These go through there. This has to zoom up and connect to the window, and then these 3 bolts at the bottom connect down there. And then you have your electrical connection back here that plugs into the motor. And then it works. So I'm about to go ahead and do that and install it. So as you can see, what I just did right there was I used this trusty T30 to get all these hex screws back in. Now what I'm going to do is connect this module again and reconnect the door card, not actually install it, just to verify that this window goes all the way up and all the way down as it should. So that's coming up right meow. Meow. Alright, so now I have my window switch connected. I have my window regulator loosely connected. I don't have everything torqued down or anything like that right now, because I just want to verify that this window operates and goes up and down as it should. So if my lovely assistant, I don't know if Sonia, can you put this in the ignition and turn the car on? Oh. Don't crank the car up though. Okay, it should be on. Alright, so now the car is on. Let's see if this window goes up and down. Whoa, look at that.
Very nice. And it's not, oh yeah.
Alright, so that's all the way down. And that's all the way up. So that's verified working. Now I need to, can you go ahead and kill the radio real quick so we don't get any copyright stuff? Actually, let's turn the car off. Actually, no, don't turn it off. All right, now you can turn it off. Just take the key out. Take the key. Turn it the other way. Turn it left. Turn the key left. Left, plate. Okay, now pull the key out. There you go. Okay.
Small steps.
Baby steps. So now we verified the operation of the components that we've replaced, which is the window regulator. Now I'm going to go ahead and reinstall everything else and put the door back together. So this will be a swift time lapse. closes. Door can open. Go inside and make sure the door opens as well. Door closed. And door opens. Nice. Pull it down. And pull it up. Good. All right, so we just finished doing the window regulator on this G550 2013 Mercedes G Wagon. It's actually a very, very easy job, but like I tell people, this is a tedious job because there's a lot of little things that you have to take loose to do this job. I wouldn't be scared of this job, but I was just taking into account that there's a lot of little pieces that you have to put back together in the proper chronological order for the door to go back properly. But yeah, the door is working, everything works fine. My boy Sean should be pretty happy with this now. It's back working and how it should be. We are KRT LYFE, KRT LYFE with the Y. And yeah, if you have a G Wagon with a window regulator that's broken, you can fix it yourself. You don't have to pay that $1,000 or $2,000 that Mercedes charges to do it. So we are out, got more stuff to wrench on today. See y'all later, peace. I wanted to talk to y'all real quick about the tools that I used to do this before I end this video. And the tools that I used was plastic prying tool, very, very important to have, and my trusty multi-bit tool thing. This is a real cheap thing that I got from one of the auto parts stores. I think it was like Advance or Discount or I don't know, Pep Boy, something like that. But it's a real cheap thing, and I think it's like 30 something different bits in here. But these 30 bits allow you to do so many different jobs, and then really the only ones that you need to actually do this window regulator job is a T20. What is this one right here? This one says T27, but I thought it was a T30. Hold on, let me see something real quick. So T37 or a T27 seems to work for most of these things, but yeah, T20, T27, T30. And the regular good old flathead, and obviously a Phillips. That's all you need to do this job, and the pry tool, and you can do it yourself. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and very manageable.